What is up, you guys? Today, I just came out of watching Pixar's latest movie, Toy Story 5. I know this review is very late. Like I said in my Toy Story Ranked, I wasn't able to watch it till Monday after it came out, but I finally got the chance to watch it, and I want to give you guys my thoughts on the film. I'm going to keep it spoiler-free for the main part, maybe get into some spoilers, but I'll give you guys a spoiler warning. But let's just jump right into this. The Toy Story franchise, I was always a huge fan of. I watched them non-stop when growing up. When Toy Story 4 got announced, because I feel like Toy Story 1 through 3 is a perfect trilogy, I was very cautious for Toy Story 4, and honestly, I'm not really a huge fan of it. I don't hate it like some people do, but I definitely don't defend it and love it like others do. I'm very neutral on it. And even when Toy Story 5 was announced, I was like, do we really need to keep making Toy Story movies? I was very intrigued with this concept of like technology versus toys. It was very cool because growing up, obviously, I was a 2000s kid growing up in the 2010s and stuff. And, Leapfrog was a very big thing. All my family members that were my age had them. A lot of kids that I knew growing up had them. So I never had a Leapfrog. I never really owned a tablet or anything or an iPad. I actually had movies. Like I watched a lot of movies on my television, and I had toys. So I was one of the kids that didn't really grow up on technology too much. But obviously, technology was in my life. I played video games growing up. So I was very curious on what they were going to do. And I was very scared that they were really going to tackle this movie saying technology is very bad for your kids and stuff. Play with toys. And it's not. And I really like that. Because honestly, this movie, I gotta say right off the bat, is very much better than Toy Story 4, in my opinion. I think this movie actually has a lot more to say than what Toy Story 4 did, in my opinion. Toy Story 5, the technology subplot, or I guess main plot, because that is really the main plot of this film. And I say main because one thing about this movie is there are a lot of things going on. And there's like this thing with a bunch of different Buzz Lightyears, Jessie trying to figure out a bunch of stuff in her past and trying to, her whole main plot, and then there's this technology plot with Bonnie and stuff with the lily pad. These three like main subplots and stuff kind of all intersect throughout the film, and at times it could feel like very choppy, and you're like, oh wait, we're back to this, this is all over the place, but it does make sense at the end of the day, and it flows through, and it never really made me go get angry or bored while watching each plot. Each plot did kind of have me intrigued. The visual style of this movie was great. I really liked the animation. The animation of this movie was fantastic, and that's one thing that I kind of missed with Toy Story. I'm a big fan of the old animation with Toy Story 1 and 2, and it's just something nostalgic for me. I don't know, growing up on those movies, I really like how uncanny they look. Like looking at Andy's face in that movie is creepy. And I really like that. It gives me that childhood joy. But watching this movie, seeing the realistic horses and stuff, there's animals or the cars, and it's just like, wow, this looks beautiful. And it doesn't have the same feeling, I guess, as the first Toy Stories, but it has like this feeling where it's not like some Pixar movies where they, or like some animated movies where it's just so realistic that it's like feels like real life. This movie's realistic, but it has like a magical realism to it, and it's weird to say, but like it has that. And then, like I was talking about with the technology plot, I was really scared that they were going to be doing this technology is bad and kids can only play with toys. And I will say for the first like maybe half of the movie or first third of the movie, it is targeting that. Like this movie jumps in right away saying technology is bad, toys are done, stuff like that. Technology is taking over, and it made me go like, oh, here we go. Toy Story is gonna do this, but actually, there's a lot to it. It's very complex, and the Lily Pad character, she is kind of I don't really know if I want to say the main villain, but I guess she is the main antagonist throughout the film. But there's a lot of complex stuff with her, and that's why I say the main villain, because I don't really know if I would count her as a villain. She's more of a misunderstood character. And I really liked how they went about with her character, because at first it is like, oh, technology's evil, but then you realize, well, technology's never going away. Let's be so for real here. Technology's here to stay, and actually we're in a rise with AI and stuff. Technology's even going to go further that we don't even understand. So technology is like, it's not going away. It's not a fad. And they kept trying to say like that throughout the film. They're like, maybe it's a fad. Maybe it's like hula hoops. And clearly in this movie, they even understand it's not going away. So the Lily Pad character, I really liked how they started off saying, hey, she's bad, she's evil. But then you slowly realize, well, maybe she's not evil. She just doesn't really know what's going on. There's really a lot of complex stuff with her and stuff. And what I really liked about this movie is one of the main things about it is how does social media and like technology benefit human interaction, or have cons with human interaction? Because a lot of things is like, hey, when you're in the same room with someone, you're really just you're texting them, or you're scrolling on TikTok and you're just sitting next to each other, opposed to where maybe you're reaching online with people that are from so far away and you're talking to them, and stuff like that. So I really liked how it explored that stuff and meaning connections, because Bonnie, let's be real here. Bonnie as a character in Toy Story 3 and 4, I hated Bonnie. I really, really disliked Bonnie as a character. And maybe that's just because I loved Andy growing up. But watching Bonnie in this movie, I was like, you know what? She's very weird. She's an outcast within her character, and I kind of relate to that because, like I said, I didn't have any of this technology growing up. I had toys, and so she's like one of the last kids to play with toys and stuff. And so it's like she's trying to figure out technology and stuff. Technology's trying to figure her out at the same time. And I gotta admit, I liked Bonnie's character a lot in here, and seeing her interact with friends, or her interact with technology and toys, seeing her interact in this world that it really reminded me of me growing up in this world, and social media, online bullying and stuff. And it really targets that really well. Another thing that I want to say, maybe a con to this film, because those are really all positives. A con that I had with the movie is the toys in this movie. There's so many of them. There are way too many toys in this film that some of them just don't feel important. And I will say the most important toy within this movie is without a doubt Jessie. She is the shining character. Jessie, and I would say Bullseye. They are two of the main characters. And I've been seeing Jessie everywhere because she is the main lead. Kind of makes me disappointed that Woody and Buzz weren't the main leads. And I was really upset because I was seeing some other reviews and stuff, and people were saying Woody and Buzz were sidelined. I wouldn't say that. I actually felt that Woody and Buzz had a good amount of screen time, important figures, especially Buzz Lightyear. I really liked Buzz Lightyear because obviously Buzz Lightyear is my favorite Toy Story character, and I felt that he had really good, maybe not narrative or anything, but he was important to the story. Woody wasn't as important to the story, but I feel like his story was a lot within Toy Story 4. He was the main character of that, so it felt nice for the other toys to get some representation. And I'm glad that Jessie finally got her own movie, and I was cautious with that because obviously in Toy Story 2, I hate Jessie. I think Jessie's very annoying in Toy Story 2, but she's come a long way, and I actually really, really liked her in this movie. Obviously, the side character toys like Slinky, Rex, we don't really see them that much. I mean, we do get them, and when we get them, it's great, but we rarely get them. Like Duck and Bunny, not in the movie. Like a lot of the characters, gone. They're just barely here, or they get one or two lines. It's really hard to like really focus on some of the toys, like Mr. Potato Head and stuff. We kind of get them, and when we get them, it's great, but they're not really focused on here. So it does kind of have that moment where you're like, oh man, this is like, it's kind of sad not seeing all the toys together like how you would see throughout Toy Story 1 through 3. But I will say what we got, I still think was really great, and I really am glad that they showed the majority of the toys throughout the film. It just feels like there were so many of them that they can't focus on a lot of them for the main parts. Really, my only other nitpick is also the soundtrack. I feel like every other soundtrack for every other Toy Story movie was really great, and it's because Randy Newman did a great job with them. Composing them, writing songs. Even Toy Story 4 had the I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away. I thought that was a really catchy song. This movie does have a Taylor Swift song, and it is the end credit song. I thought it was going to be throughout the film. It's not till the end credit, so there's really no song in the film. It's not terrible, but it's obviously not my favorite. I'm not a big Swiftie. So I will say I think the soundtrack, this is the weakest soundtrack out of the four Toy Story movies, excluding Lightyear. So yeah, these are my overall thoughts here. I'm going with the score of an 83 out of 100. I think this is my favorite animated movie of the year so far. I think I have this roughly at the same score as I did Hoppers. Quickly to put in my Toy Story rankings, I would have Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 1 coming in at a 96, Toy Story 2 coming in at a roughly 94, and then Toy Story 3 at a 94 as well. I think they're like tied. Then in fourth place, I would put this Toy Story 5 at an 83, so I think it's really good. Fifth place, I would have Lightyear at a 68 out of 100. And then in sixth place, I'm going with Toy Story 4 with a 62 out of 100. So those are my Toy Stories ranked, including Toy Story 5. What did you guys think of Toy Story 5? What are your pros and cons? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you like it. If you really liked it, make sure you subscribe. If you want to see future videos like this, ring the bell in the description down below. And with all that being said, you got a friend in me. Peace.